Welcome to the Chicago Sports Network. I'm Adam Amin, and this is Game On Chicago. There's something special, a little bit fun, maybe a little bit strange about being part of something new like this, but we're all going to do it together, and we have a great opportunity to bring you the teams that you've forged connections with, the organizations that you cheer for, and the players that you have grown accustomed to cheering for as well. We're so pleased to get a chance to do this with you. We're all going to do this together, and there's a reason that Chicago is in the title of the network itself. It's because this is our home, this is our city, and these are the teams that we have grown to care for. We live in Chicago's neighborhoods, famously over 200 of them, 77 areas. Then you count in all the suburbs, about 80 of them, around a dozen counties. We love the Chicago food. We support Chicago businesses. I grew up slinging Chicago-style hot dogs and pizza puffs in the suburbs. And, of course, you've been breathing Chicago sports for a very long time, dealing with these same emotional highs and lows as your neighbors. My dad came to the United States in late 1978, watched a few years of really bad baseball during that stretch as well. But finally, 7 years later, my three older brothers and my mom joined him in the city of Chicago, and a year later, this is where I was born too. This city matched the personality of my dad, or maybe it was the other way around. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, this is the place that grew me and grew a lot of us. It turned us into the people that we are today. This city means a lot of different things and very specific things to a lot of different people.
It's not just where we're from, it's who we are.
The most electric baseball atmosphere.
There's never a dull day in Chicago.
Anything could be a canvas, even the smallest parts of us.
The fandom in general is just very beautiful to me. How people express themselves.
Chicago definitely influences my artistry.
It tells a story. It's personal.
My creativity comes from Chicago.
Y'all know sport is what brings us together.
Chicago fans are very loyal. You're a Blackhawks fan, you're a Blackhawks fan. I'm a little bit of a pack rat, I guess you call it.
Chicago is family, and family means everything to us.
This is our house. Nobody else can do it as well as we can.
Bottom of the ninth, Bo Jackson hit the game-winning home run.
There's a lot of magic that happens in those moments.
Give me the license to just do what I want.
A lot of celebratory moments in my life.
What really makes Chicago, Chicago, that's the people from the neighborhoods. We're made of stories. We love this
It
city.
was the best Sox game I've ever been to.
Stood here all night celebrating.
Sports unifies the city.
With all these new beginnings comes new opportunity and a chance to reimagine some of the ways that you get to watch and experience and discuss the teams you've been talking about for so long, from what it looks like on your television to now your tablet and to your phone, and how you get to interact and engage with your teams and your fellow fans. But of course, at the core of all of this is the 300-plus live sporting events between the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox that we're going to bring to you on the Chicago Sports Network. And, of course, my on-air partner and off-air compadre, my friend Stacey King, the three-time NBA champion, is going to be along for the ride. We're going to get a chance to shepherd in this era of Bulls basketball together as we go into year number 5. What are you most excited about, my friend?
It feels like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. They're touching the moon for the first time. I'm really excited about it. You know, it's something new. I think our fan base is going to love it. This is a rabid fan base. Bulls Nation is huge, and I think this is going to be something they're going to really gravitate to, and it's going to be fun to watch.
A couple of astronauts, just you and me. What are you most excited about when it comes to the team itself as they're starting to get going for training camp?
Change.
Yep.
You know, the Bulls have gone younger. It's going to be a fun, athletic team. There's going to be some ups and downs. This is still a team that's growing and trying to find itself, but there is identity there. You've got Zach LaVine, who a former All-Star, Nikola Vucevic is there. You got Lonzo Ball that's going to be coming back at some point. So I think it's going to be a better year than what people think.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to calling these games with you. And we're looking forward to being back with our old buddies. We're going to hear from them soon. Jason Goff, Kendall Gill, our Bulls insider Casey Johnson will be along as well to break down more of the season with Stacey. Got a lot of respect for the names and faces and voices that contextualize all the games that you're going to watch. And then you got the folks that are going to help us contextualize it in the bigger picture by connecting it to the goings-on in the leagues that our teams play in. So one of our signature shows, part of our original programming, the Chicago Lead, is going to be at the forefront of that, serving you in that purpose. And of course, we've got our great crew, Brooke Fletcher, David Haw, and Cam Smith to break it all down.
Thank you so much, Adam. It's hard to believe the day is finally here. The launch of the Chicago Sports Network. We're here in Pilsen on the corner of 18th and Carpenter. We're going to take you around the city of Chicago as the show goes on. But you guys at home can look forward to a new show on the network, and that's the Chicago Lead, where we're going to talk all things Chicago sports. And I'm here with the cast. I'm Brooke Fletcher. We got Cam Smith. He is a native here in Chicago, a hooper. He played basketball at Southern Illinois, and he's just been covering Chicago hoops his entire career. Cam. And then we also have David Haw here. He's a mainstay in Chicago sports. If you know sports here in Chicago, you know David. He started off at the Tribune, and of course, you know Mully and Haw on 670 The Score. So, guys, happy to be here with you.
Yeah, definitely. But you were giving me and David love. We got to give you some love as well, because you lived in Chicago for 3 years. Obviously, covered the Tigers and some strong family ties to the White Sox as well. Yeah. So nice. Really, really sweet.
Yeah, so, you know, it feels good to be back in Chicago and just to be able to share this experience with you guys. I feel like we all bring something different to the table, so it'll be fun just to have those conversations and you guys at home just to be a part of it.
Have covered a lot of new seasons, new eras in Chicago sports. None quite like this one, though. Being part of this is going to be a lot of fun, and I know we're going to be undefeated. That's one thing you can't say about us. Undefeated, right?
Yeah, never lost. There it is.
Well, one thing about Chicago is that it's the best sports fans in the entire country here, and with it being October, it's arguably one of the best months in sports, where it's all 4 major sports are going at the same time. So it got us thinking, which are the best, or what are the best sports moments in October here in the city of Chicago?
I think it's easy for me. I mean, when the White Sox won the World Series in 2005 down in Houston, I think that's one of those moments that is indelibly etched in everyone's memory. I was lucky enough to be covering that for the Tribune. But I also think that when you're having fun, you remember when the Bears were who they thought they were, if you're Dennis Green. That happened also in October in Arizona. That was a night to remember. The Bears won 24-23 without an offensive touchdown. I thought of that game a lot before at the Bears season opener when they did the same thing against the Titans.
Nice.
So October is a fun month.
Well, speaking of October and taking that time machine, I'm going to go all the way back to the 80s with my time machine. So let's go back to October 26, 1984, and I'm rocking my OG Jordan 11 Columbias to make sure I set the scene properly, because Michael Jordan debuted in that Chicago Bulls uniform. We know how great he was when he debuted, and then also for his career and his time in that Bulls red and black. But this is one thing when you debut, because you have the expectations of the city and so many fans. 16 points, 7 assists, 4 blocks, 2 steals, and oh yeah, he did what Michael Jordan did. Win. They won against the then Washington Bullets, so that always stands out to my mind about the famous and iconic October moments in Chicago sports history.
I'm going to kind of piggyback off what you said, just because one thing I love about October is October baseball. There is nothing like it. You were just touching on the White Sox in 2005, Paul Konerko in Game 2.
Oh yeah,
right? Like just
Scotty Pods.
Right, just the mainstays, some of the legends here in Chicago. Konerko, you got AJ Brzezinski. I mean, that was so cool to see. But you also got to give some love to the Cubs when they made their run. I mean, I remember being here in the city. I haven't seen anything like it.
They won the pennant in October 2016. They played the first World Series game here at Wrigley Field in 2016. It doesn't seem like that long ago, and yet it was a very long time ago. The Cubs need to get back to the playoffs so we can have more October baseball.
I mean, what do you remember? Because you covered that as well. What was the city like then?
I remember just feeling like you were going to be part of something that was once in a lifetime experience. You walked around Wrigley Field, and it was an older crowd because it had been so long since it had happened, and some people were convinced it would never happen again. So it was one of those times you walked around, you saw a lot of people taking photos because they were keepsakes. It was that kind of game, and it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, staggered over the weekend. One of those things you'll never forget.
I just remember celebrating that moment with my grandfather, who's a lifelong Cubs fan, and understanding how special that moment was for him. So me with my family members, it was great. So it was a special time for sure.
And how about the Chicago Sky? I feel like, we got to give them some love. They won a title back in 2021. Candace Parker, a huge legend here. And then there's a lot of excitement surrounding the Sky, Angel Reese, and just, maybe just potentially bringing another championship.
And it was just a year ago when Connor Bedard scored his first goal for the Blackhawks. First of many to come, because that's what's exciting about the Hawks. They're on the verge of something special, and that's just beginning too.
Well, speaking of the first of many to come, you're going to have many more moments with me, Brooke, and David, Monday through Friday on CHSN for the Chicago Lead. Make sure you tap in with us. Let's throw it back to Adam in the studio.
Awesome stuff right there. I bet everybody's got some kind of memory flowing through their head and their heart right now as they watch that on this historic night on the Chicago Sports Network. In just a little bit, we've got the Blackhawks' newest pairing, the excellent broadcast crew of Rick Ball and Darren Pang. They'll be on the way to give us a season preview in just a bit. But I'm really excited about the next segment. I've got my entire Chicago Sports Network Bulls broadcast crew in the house. We'll give you all the coverage of what we're going to expect in the coming weeks as the NBA season gets underway. That's all coming up next on Game On Chicago.
Pearl's Place has deep roots in our community. We've been serving Bronzeville and all of Chicagoland for more than 30 years. We offer freshly prepared breakfast, lunch, and dinner buffets, or guests can order off of our menu. Our guests can be from around the block or maybe even the Obamas. Regardless of who's dining with us, we want an exceptional experience for our guests. Pearl's Place has the best Southern soul food in town.